All right, so let's talk about our fabric choices for this quilt just around the corner. So I've got a couple that I've done, and I'm just going to show them off and talk about the fabric, kind of the situation that they're going to be in and what you need to be watching for when you choose your fabric. So the first quilt that I made was using the style, the Civil War style, so they're kind of dark and dirty. I chose blues as my main, and then an orange, like an orange yellow and a rusty red as the pops of color. And so as you can see, it looks very different from the green and blue one that I'm going to show next. But I just wanted to give you a couple ideas of what to use. And as far as your backgrounds go or your lights fabrics, those can be a variety of colors or prints. This is a great quilt for using your scraps with. So with the blue and the green one, which is the most current one, I haven't quilted it yet, but again, the fabric that I chose for the main fabric is blue, and then all the other colors are green. So I just did like a variety of different colors of green, so the center is a different tone of green than what it's surrounded with. Whereas in this one, it was, I'll find the larger ones, the rusty reds or rusty oranges with the yellow kind of pop in the center. So just be aware that you're going to have contrasting colors because of the green and the blue when they're situated next to each other. You want a nice variety for that main fabric. So all of my blues are different. When the fabric called for a light color, you can use either your background or just a light color of the blue. What I did notice on this one, I tried to get away with using one background for these larger squares, not realizing that when you put this together, at some point, one of the sashings or borders is going to have a long piece of background. And that will hit right next to the original piece of background. And so I cut these out of a different background so they weren't identical sitting next to each other, which is a little weird. So that is the only thing that I say watch for, is give yourself a couple options for the background. Like I said, it's okay to have all of these squares one fabric. Just be aware that in the border or the sashing, you're going to run with background next to background. So you'll need to have another option for these rectangles. Each month we will be sewing kind of in weird sections. So we're going to be sewing strips together, and then we are going to be cutting those strips up into like 2.5-inch width strips. And then later on, we'll take those little sections and build our blocks that way. So it's not necessarily traditionally put together. It was formatted for a mystery, and I was going to change the format back, but it actually works really well. So I left it the way it is. If you guys have any questions about the fabric that you're choosing, drop them in the forum. I'm happy to help or share what fabrics you're choosing so we can get an idea and maybe some inspiration to help others choose theirs as well. So for this quilt, you're going to need some background. You're going to need one major color, and it can be a variety of scraps that belong to it. So this one, again, is the blue. And this one was also a blue for my majority fabric. And then for my pops of color, this traditional one is like the orange, the rusty orange with a brighter orange. And then this one was all kind of the bright green, the lime green. And again, I had a variety of fabric. I wasn't necessarily worried about being identical or symmetrical or anything. I just used what I had and cut up what I needed. But I knew that looking at these fabrics, they resonated you know, and put off the same tone and the same value. And that really is what you need to be looking at when you are putting those fabrics together. So I can't wait to see what your choices are. Make sure you share them in the group. And I am excited to get this block of the month going.